I like throw my weight into it. All right, hey, come on in. We're gonna go to Gooey Center Bakery. Bake LA's best cinnamon rolls right here. Oh yes, I've been feeling, of course. Yeah, no, of course. Forgot about that. That's our giant mixer. I don't know the brand name. After I do this, I'll start making the dough. It gets really smoky. And bread flour. We mix that together with sugar and yeast and salt and all that good stuff. That all goes into the big mixer, and then we add in all of our liquid, which is oat milk. And then from there, once things like start to combine, then I just dump in all the butter. It's a lot of butter. And then we just mix that up for about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Basically until it looks done. put in a bunch of white sugar. Try to make sure I catch those. And then all those dry ingredients just mix together for a couple minutes. And then while that's mixing, I just weigh out a little bit of the salt. So we're going to use a lot of oat milk today. Like a lot. Keep the dough a little softer, give the dough a little more structure. And we'll use regular milk or heavy cream sometimes, or all kinds of things people put in there. And then I just poke a hole in the top. And then all this is gonna go, otherwise, if you put all the milk in and then turn the mixer on, then it spills everywhere. You can see it splashes everywhere. I like oat milk because it has a lot more fat in it than almond milk. When I started the recipe, I wanted to try to find something that still had like the full richness of a cinnamon. I think I looked at like macadamia nut milk is like really fatty, but also some alternative milks are very expensive. And also we are like 99%. Our frostings, our classic cinnamon roll doesn't have nuts in it. So the only time something would have nuts in it is if like we're specifically making like a pecan pie roll or something like that. So I'm also like happy that our recipe is nut free. So with our butters and our milks, we make sure when we're ever looking at other ingredients that we use stuff that doesn't have nuts in it. Just like makes it a little bit easier for everybody to eat. Here for me. I'm going to drop in this salt. A little slack. But I don't want to over mix it. before the butter goes in.
Then it doesn't really want to, the gluten doesn't really want to form anymore because it gets covered in fat. So you have to mix the dough like just enough to build up some gluten before you start adding in all the butter. And it's a lot of butter. So if it were a different kind of recipe that didn't really have much fat in it, you could probably add in the butter right at the beginning. But I was making them with dairy, and I just started baking, and I had a bunch of friends, and I used to be a teacher, and I had a bunch of students reach out to me and ask if I could make them vegan. And I thought, yeah, sure, like I'll swap out the ingredients. The original recipe I was using had no egg, so it was really easy to swap out the butter for vegan butter, swap out the milk for oat milk, and they came out perfect, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I decided to just start making all of them vegan because it was easier to just keep one set of ingredients, and I figured that way, you know, everybody could enjoy them. And nobody knew. I switched the recipe over to just being vegan, and all my customers, no one noticed that I changed it. Still, I mean, we have so many customers don't know that our cinnamon rolls are vegan and are really surprised after they eat them that I tell them. You know, they think, oh, the cream cheese frosting, and the cinnamon rolls are so rich. Just to help the butter incorporate, I like to cut it up into chunks. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we just cut it into some rough pieces. Again, just with such a giant amount of dough, if we stand there and throw in one piece of butter at a time, you'll be there all day throwing in butter, and your dough gets overmixed by that time. So it's definitely like a fine balance of when all the ingredients get put in there, and it's been a learning process for sure. See, it's starting to form. Really wet today. It's looking good though. You can tell when it starts to get stringy on the sides there. That's when the gluten's forming and it's starting to stick to the edge of the bowl. That's how you know it's starting to mix properly. The next step after that is when it starts to release from the sides of the bowl, and it'll start to stick more to itself. But you'll know that it's starting to form when you start to get these little strings here. Also, when you see this spiral on the mixer, before, when everything's just thrown in and wet and the gluten hasn't started to form, you won't get these lines. It'll just kind of be like a big gloopy mess. But this, to me, indicates that the dough is starting to get some structure. So I think now is probably a good time to start throwing the butter in. It might need a little bit longer of a mix later, but we'll see. I'd rather get the butter in too early than too late. It'll take way too long. So we just kind of shove the butter in, the dough will figure it out. Doing it one half at a time though seems to help. If you do it all at once, it's way too much butter. So that'll keep mixing, and then I'll just... So you can see a lot of the butter's already incorporated and the pieces have already turned into like really small, and the rest of them are starting to disappear. But you can see the butter still floating around in there. And the gluten's still forming. You know, there's still the strings, but the gluten starts to have a harder time once all the butter gets added in. So we'll add in this last half of the butter, and then, oh geez, I mean, I don't know, it could take 10, 15, 20 more minutes. It's hard to say. Teaching privately, and so I saved up some money, and then I was baking all throughout while I was teaching. I was mostly I wasn't baking cinnamon rolls back then, I was just making custom cakes. And I was doing birthday parties and cupcake decorating parties and that kind of stuff, which was really great because the kids loved it. And then, yeah, once the schools opened back up after COVID, I wanted to try to bake full time. And I thought, well, if it doesn't work, I'll just go back to teaching because I like teaching. But yeah, it's been 5 years now, so we're just still baking every day. It's good. Usually the dough starts to get stuck up here, and I just like to help the mixer a little bit and push down the edges. Sometimes these little bits get stuck and they don't want to come back down. So a couple times through the mix, I'll just push down the edge like this. It gets all crusty, it's not fun to clean off later, so it's a little bit easier to just keep everything pushed down in the mix.
You like the dough, Christopher?
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's being a little difficult today.
Hot.
I think it's just because it's hot. Yeah. Doing that thing in my head though, where I'm like, did I mix everything properly? Did I weigh everything out? But
And the answer is always yes.
the answer is yes. I know. I'm just like such a freak.
I'm gonna render this. This dough, you want to watch me shape that. Swing over here. And I book fold it. And I'll take it over here.
Really long mix today. Thinking of maybe just a couple more minutes. Looks right before I pull it out. You can. It's hard to tell where the bowl ends and where the bowl ends. Yeah, it's sticky today, but it's holding better. It needs a little bit longer. What do you say?
Learn to wash my burgers.
Sometimes it comes out really well. That's the thing. It's like coming up off the side of the bowl there. Just test it again. This might be ready to come out. Yeah. So you can see how it's starting to tear a little bit, but it's pretty strong. And I'd rather it be slightly undermixed than overmixed. Been pretty strong. It's not tearing too fast. You want to stretch it and see if you can like see the light come through before it tears. And you can with this dough. It's right there. I don't think that this is like the only test that you should do to see if your dough is done. I don't really do this test often anymore, but it definitely helps. Especially when you're first starting making. You can tell a lot just by grabbing it like this. Then we'll also see a lot once it's
Sometimes the spirals get stuck. Is there two?
yeah. You feel how strong it is, because which is a good thing. Worried about the dough every time I've made some.
No, actually.
No? I wish we had a little more space in the fridge because.
Now on the 30th.
Yeah. I love now. That's next weekend. No, it's 2 weekends from now.
2 weekends from now.
Where-
Yeah,
where?
we're out of town.
Oh yeah.
10 speed.
Keep forgetting.
Yeah.
And this is gonna go in the fridge over here.
So we're going to start by doing that. It's hard to make frosting with them. They split a lot. They melt really fast. I also don't love the taste of vegan cream cheese. It's like a little too sour. I haven't tried in a long time. Maybe there's some better ones, but buttercream is cream cheese, but it's not. I've been making this for so long. Like, we've made a lot of changes to the dough. The same with the filling for our cinnamon rolls. Like, but we've definitely made a lot of changes to ours and a lot of tweaks. And then, you know, for the filling, it's like a lot of recipes just call for a little sugar. And I really like when the cinnamon roll is like filled with flavor and it's really spicy. So we put a lot of cinnamon in our filling, and we have some extra spices that we add as well, and then the most flavor, and it's like really like a nice deep flavor. It's really rich and usually caramelizes a lot better, or like it gets really gooey when it's. But yeah, adding a ton of cinnamon is definitely the key. And our frosting is a really like buttery vanilla frosting that's not too sweet. Some people like to like that this feels more like a traditional like vanilla frosting. And I think the butteriness leads to the cinnamon roll. Yeah. Let me know if it doesn't start. Yeah, okay, I'm right there.
Yeah. Of course.
It's not.
Okay,
No.
I heard the click and I got pissed.
No, this old mixer. Oh my god.
I didn't.
Okay, I think I have a
What's your
technique.
trick?
Hopefully it still turns okay. That's what I've been doing. I like go up and then like push my weight into it.
I'm going like up and then pushing it in, but I think you're tilting it.
I'm like kind of tilting it and like jamming it in there.
So funny.
I like throw my weight into it. Even getting it repaired means like we have to have someone come in and take it apart, so we wouldn't be able to use it for some amount of time. Yeah. Because if they're gonna look at it, I mean, it's just. So thankfully it still works. It just needs a good shove.
So we don't get to take all of the tables and put them in.
Dude, I think it might be too hot to send those down to lavender honey, honestly. Yeah.
What's the temp outside?
So this is 87. It's not terrible, but